Shops and pubs shut, stadiums empty, streets deserted. This our day-to-day life in 2020. But the prospect of COVID vaccines offering hope for the new year. But hope does not mean an end to hardship. Still, tough times ahead.
When we come out of lockdown next week, we must not just throw away the gains we've all made. So today we've published our COVID winter plan, which sets out a clear strategy to take the country through to the end of March.
A return to a three-tiered system, but with a toughening up of the two highest bands. Gyms, shops, salons will reopen everywhere. In Tiers 1 and 2, limited numbers of spectators will be allowed at sporting events. But in the higher tiers, tight restrictions on socialising remain. And in Tier 3, pubs and restaurants will be closed, except for takeaway. Tighter restrictions come with more community testing too.
Through tough tiering and mass community testing, we hope to let people see a little more of their family and friends over Christmas.
The PM trying to manage expectations. This crisis isn't over when the English lockdown ends.
This is not the moment to let the virus rip for the sake of Christmas parties. 'Tis the season to be jolly, but 'tis also the season to be jolly careful.
But be hopeful too.
I really am assured now that things will look and feel very different indeed after Easter.
A 4-month plan, but it still needs sign-off from Parliament, and his own benches are in a restive rather than festive mood.
Many will hold their judgment on this until we know which areas go into which tiers. I think if you go into Tier 3, you'll struggle to spot much of a difference from the lockdown.
The PM relied on Labour votes to lock us down, but he can't take their support for granted.
Labour has backed the Prime Minister on all the big decisions the government's had to take to protect public health. Ideally, I would like to be in a position to do so again. We will await the detail. We want the Prime Minister to get this right. He's got a week to do so.
Labour likely to back the Prime Minister, and he's going to need it because at least 70 of his own MPs don't like the sound of these restrictions one little bit. They want to reopen society and the economy, not shut it all back down. But the big takeaway from this winter COVID plan is that the tiers are going to get tougher and going to last for longer. This is the reality of how we're all going to have to live for the next 4 months until Easter. Not so long ago, the PM hoped for some normality this Christmas. Not there yet. Some hope for spring. Beth Rigby, Sky News, Westminster.